So as you take your next in-breath, begin to slide the arms up the legs as the spine gets longer, chin lifts. And then begin to breathe out, slide the hands down the legs, take the spine backwards behind you and drop your head. Inhale again. So it's like a seated cat-cow pose. Good if you've got bunged up nose, yet you want to move your spine. Breathe out, send everything backwards, chin down, and breath in again. And breathe out. We're going to do some movements to assist shoulders, tight shoulders and neck in this first part. And then we're going to, through the practice, let that trickle a little bit down the spine and maybe head towards between the shoulder blades and middle back. That's it. Breathe in, slide back, breathe out, send away. Okay, breathe out last time, release. And then bring yourself back. Okay, so yeah, with cold weather, I really notice shoulders and neck. Shoulders like to move up to the ears, and it just creates so much tightness in the shoulders and neck. So little sequence to release it. So bring the arms out in front of you, and then gently draw the elbows back and squeeze the elbows, kind of like take them as far as you can behind you. Bring the shoulders forward. If you're looking at your screen, could you just have a check here on the tops of my shoulders? So what wouldn't be useful is if you lift your shoulders. Can you hear my voice? It's changed. And you take the elbows back. Everything's condensed here, right, around this throat area. And the shoulder, the sides of my neck have gone, shoulders are hunching up. Now watch, yeah, arms forwards, breathe in. And as you breathe out, they've not lifted, yeah. And now with this exhale, I can feel the sides of my neck and throat and the elbows all, and the shoulders, sorry, and between the shoulder blades, yeah, getting a lovely little stretch. Breathe in forwards and breathe out backwards. Okay, so let's just speed that up a little bit, not fast. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. 2 more. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, and then release. Just wriggle around, do what you need to do, and then just sense. I've got warmth. I've created blood flow, which is always a really good thing when muscles are tight. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see what we're going to do next. Yeah, just because when we don't move the muscles, things get stagnant, yeah, and that includes blood flow. All right, so elbows bent again by the sides of your body. Pretend you're running. We've got some analogies today, just to warn you. All right, yeah, pretend you're running. So you send one elbow forward and the other back. All right, switch to the other side. Now notice how you twist as well. And I want your head to go with this movement. All right. And you can go as far or as, you might be on a, like quite a energetic run in your mind, obviously. Or you might be just doing a little jog, nice peaceful little jog, whichever, right? But notice where in your body, where in your back, this is really getting into. Okay, 2 more. 1, 2, and then release. All right, shake that out. Elbows out in front, and I've got my arms lifted, but my hands are relaxed. Now I'm going to start with my elbows Yeah, shoulder distance apart. All right. And as we go into this, I'm going to bring them a little bit closer, but really being guided by what's behind me is saying is acceptable. All right. So I'm not forcing this. All right. Soften your gaze. Get your head back into that headrest. All right. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, go in one direction. Doesn't matter where you're going, left or right. Breathe in through the middle, other direction. Okay, keep moving side to side. Elbows may come a little bit closer, or maybe that's not possible today. And you could always put your hands on your head if you want. I do that sometimes. But stay in the comfortable range. Yeah, we do not need to stress this in any way. Side to side, just a few more either side. Okay. And then separate the elbows to shoulder distance back where you started, and just see if that feels a little bit different, whether things are just released off. Okay, and then release those hands. Shoulder rolls just to, yeah, get back into your body. Okay, here's the next analogy. Swim in. Crawl. Okay, so it's kind of like the run. It's kind of like the jog. And then it goes a little bit further, doesn't it? And then bringing that back arm over, it's like it dives down into the water. You turn your head, yeah, and that arm comes over, dive down into the water with the hand. So find what would be, I'm a terrible swimmer, by the way. Water frightens me. I had somebody scare me, teacher scare me as a young girl. And yeah, swimming's not my thing. But I like doing air swimming. I do, because this is nice in the shoulders. The only thing is we don't have the water holding us up, but we've got a bit of gravity here to support us. So couple more. This is quite full on. Okay, last time. All right, I'm gonna bring those hands back. So we've been running and swimming. No yoga here. All right, so let's come into our 90-90 with our legs. I just want to do a bit of hip work, all right, just for a couple of moments. So you're on one hip. That front shin is not close to you, yeah? It's completely away from you, and it's like, you know, there's a distance between the heel and the back knee. As you can see, I'm kind of, you know, weighted here on one side. That back leg, the knee is bent, but the foot is directly out, yeah? So you don't want that foot close to your bum. See the difference, yeah? Does completely different things in the hips. So really make sure that back leg is away. Couple of things. You can use your fingers as support. You're going to go over towards that front shin and come back. So you can use the fingers as support. But if you feel you want a bit more work here, just hug yourself for a moment. Breathe out as you go forwards. It's work. One's not so much work and the other one is a lot of work. Yeah. So lean forwards as you breathe out. So we got 3. We'll do 5. You could always arms out. 4. Ooh, strong. And 5. Okay, if we can not use our hands to switch to the other side. All right? Just as you need to. Maybe start with the fingertips down. Try one out so you can Work out what you need to do. Just the legs. Yeah. And then when you're ready, go for it. We've got 5 coming up. Breathe out, down you go. Inhale, back you come. You can do a hug. Sometimes the arms get in the way of that one. That's why it's quite nice to release them out to the side. 4, and then this final one. 5, and then back up. All right, so let's get the legs behind us, everybody. You may want to take your socks off. More about not slipping. Okay, on to hands and knees. My microphone keeps moving. Hang a minute. There's another gadget I need to buy now, a magnet to hold it on me better. Never stops. All right, so from here, onto hands and knees. Knees back behind you and roughly hip distance apart. Those hands slightly forwards of your shoulders. All right, so moving in the forwards direction with your spine. And as you breathe out, curve and go back into your hips. Inhale, lift and move forwards. Exhale, arch and reach back. 2. And 3. And 4 coming up. And we've got this 5th one. Okay, tuck your toes under, and as you go back into semi-child's pose, then lift your hips. Yeah, you're in your downward dog, and you want to spare a moment here just to, yeah, get into a body part. For me, it's calves. Might be somewhere else for you. Okay, and then walk the hands back to your feet. We're going to kind of be starting a bit towards the back of the mat. So you bring yourself up. That's it. And when you find your standing position, I'll go to the front of the camera so you can see roughly hip distance apart with your feet. And you're going to send, it's a combination of a swim, I guess. You're going to send one arm forwards and one arm back. So you can see how I've twisted in my body here. So you do have to be careful of knees if you've got dodgy knees. Maybe just, you know, lift a heel and that will help. I'll just show you it from the side as well. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is look backwards. You don't have to. You might prefer to look forwards. And then we come back to center. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is go in the other direction. So it's very controlled. So remember the knee. When you're turning out, it's the knee that you're moving away from is the one that you really want to protect if you need to. So just lift the heel. Yeah, we don't want, really here, we're not finding any rigidity in the body. We're respecting the distance that we can go. Yeah. And staying with that. So that's the movement. So let's just start that. Arms down the sides of your body. Bring the hands together at the heart space. Just take a moment to drop into your heels. Notice if you need to adjust that distance between your feet. And if you need to move your pelvis into position above the heels. And then let that trickle up to the shoulders, then the ears, and the crown of the head. All right, so when you're ready, let's take the right arm forwards and the left arm back. So breathe in, grow into this, right? It's not a fast movement. Coming back, breathe in, left arm forwards, right arm back. You can always look behind if you want. So 2 more. I've just switched my breath there actually. Try this. Inhale with the hands back here and exhale as you spin. Yeah, that feels a bit more kind of biomechanical. Okay, so hands back at the heart and release the hands down to the sides. Drop the chin. We're going to do a spinal roll. So the first thing I want you to do is chin comes down to chest. And then I want you to think about this tail that you have, this invisible tail that you have. Think about that dropping. Yeah, so in my body, that looks a little bit like this. So it's already putting my spine in the curve. But what it's doing is it's shifting my weight and my focus from the front here to the back. Because what I don't want to do is hinge. I want to curl, yeah? And I really want the back part of the spine to open up. Chin down, drop your tail, and then keep going, vertebra by vertebra. Stay back in your heels. Think of the sections of your spine. It's a slow journey down. You can drop your tail more if you need to until you get your fingertips to the floor. We're just going to curl up. So drop your tail. You might notice the weight in your heels, and it's that slow, slow lift. Lovely. Down again, and then we walk forwards to downward dog. All right, so in your time. Drop your chin, drop your tail, curl. It's so nice to experience sections of the spine, their movement capabilities, their strength as well. All right, when their fingertips get to the floor, walk forwards into downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Let it go. So just let your body find downward dog today. Ears between the arms. Softness at the back of your knees. Where are you feeling like you're gripping? Because if you feel it, you probably are. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring just the right foot forwards by the right hand, left knee to the floor. Uncurl your toes. You can leave them up if you want. And then slowly bring yourself up, bringing the arms up and finding like a soft lunge. Yeah, not a forcing so you really feel this at the top of the thigh. No, just enough. Okay, release the hands. Step back, downward dog. So we're reversing. We're going back to where we were. Walking the hands back. Drop your tail, bend your knees, curling up. And you're standing. Okay. Hands together at the heart. Do all of the journey up through the body. Yeah, like, oh yeah. You know, you really notice how much, if you don't remind yourself to get down into your feet, you really notice how much you're not in your feet and how much you're kind of like floating around here, somewhere up here. So yeah, it's a nice reminder. Oof, get down into the feet. Okay, so we're going to send left hand forwards, right arm back. So take a breath in, go forwards with the arm on the exhale. I think this is more kind of body centered, yeah. So take a breath in, and there you go. Left arm forwards, right arm back. Remember, you can look back if you want. Inhale back through center. Inhale again. Left forwards, right behind you. And last time, right forwards. Okay. Coming back to center, releasing the hands down by the hips. All right, get into your feet. Bend your knees a fraction, chin down, tail down. It's amazing, just that instruction. Tail down. You go, oh yeah, oh yeah. I didn't realize I was holding my tail up, but I obviously was. So chin down, keep going. Upper back between the shoulder blades, and really sense that middle section of your back. Lower back, take your time. This morning, I'm really feeling my ribs, which is nice. Okay, just let the fingertips touch the ground. You're going to come back up, but weight yourself down through that invisible part of your body. Let that stay weighted, so that then leads you into your lower back, takes you up to the middle back. And then standing. And then all of a sudden your tail goes back to being weightless. Yeah. All right. Next time. This is, these are little practices. I know I'm joining a whole class, obviously, here and putting it together, but, there's always sections that you could do. You could do these and then that's a practice. Yeah. Don't complicate it. That's what I say. Don't complicate it. So here we go. Last time, then we move forwards. All right. So down into your heels, drop your tail. Whew. Mine's just suddenly got longer. Chin into chest, down through the spine, maybe the ribs, maybe spread the shoulder blades. Have a breath on the way down if you need to. When you get down there and the fingers touch the ground, that's when you walk forwards. But really let all of that back length remain. It might be a slow crawl, all right? That's it. Find your downward dog and just let that extend through your spine, out the crown of the head and out your tail. And breathe. If you hold your body tight in poses, it will restrict you breathing well. So definitely take a look at that in something like this pose. Take a breath in. When you begin to breathe out, it's your left foot's coming by your left hand, right knee to the floor. You can untuck your feet, toes at the back or not, up to you. Bring the arms back. Inhale, take them up in the air and then into that lungy, soft lunge. Have a breath here. And as you let the breath go, the hands come down all the way to the floor. Step back with that left foot into downward dog again. Walk the hands back. Heels down, knees bend, tail down. Dangle arms. Yeah. And then curling up. Oh, come to standing. All right. So from here, it doesn't matter which side you pick because we'll do the other side in a moment, but we're going to stand hip distance apart. We're going to do a bit of a knee movement for the hip and then we'll lead this into tree pose. All right. So pick whichever side you feel like you're going to go into your supporting leg. All right. And then just begin to lift the other heel off the floor, lift the knee up. You might want to put your hands on your hips or have them here. It's totally up to you. Now I've just sent my toes towards my knees and then I'm going to send the knee out to the side. It creates wobble and then back and then down. I'm just going to touch it to the floor. I don't want to drop my weight into that. Bringing it back up again, out again to the side, back to center and down. This works the hip flexors if you needed to know that. It's probably quite obvious. Up, out to the side, and then this time bend the knee a little bit more, grab the ankle and bring that to the inner thigh, tree pose. Oops, slippery leggings today.
I might have to hold that. Can I? Yep. So if you push the foot to the thigh, push the thigh to the foot, this creates stability, and it kind of goes shoo in energetically through the center of your body, brings you like above the crown of your head. So hands here at the heart if you want that, or onto the hips, whichever you want. I've got a wobble coming on. Have a good breath. All right. So we're not going to release this foot to the floor. Just bring it over the thigh and sit back a little bit. You don't have to go a distance if you don't want to, obviously, but keep the spine integrated into this. By that, I mean, don't kind of arch your back like that. Little sound effect there. Yeah, think about this being, the back being part of this. So watch that the ribs don't flare forwards. Yeah, they're back into your body. Okay, and then you're going to come up. The foot that's on the leg is the one that's going to go behind you. Not much. We're going to do warrior one, yeah? So it's not like warrior two where you have bigger distance between the feet. But there is distance here, yeah, between the legs. So, yeah, you've just sent the back foot behind you. The foot turns out slightly at the back. The toes point away from you. But the important thing is to feel that you are weighted 50% in the front leg, 50% in the back leg. Tricky, really tricky, that one. Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know if that feels right or not. But you might find as we move into warrior two that you need to kind of shimmy that foot forwards. Whatever you need to do is fine. Hands onto the hips. Okay, so find your center of gravity directly between your legs. And we'll release the arms. And as you inhale, you're going to bend into that front knee. Now, if you can see the camera, my knee is going beyond my ankle. But actually, this feels better for my spine. Bring your arms down and back. I'll just show you. This feels better for my spine. It's a bit more, I could do this. That's not warrior one, really, yeah. I think this is more what the pose is about. I'm able to be remaining in both legs, kind of with more strength distributed evenly. This one with the leg further forwards is a bit more front based, yeah. Remember, it's more 50-50. So it might, you might think, hang on a minute, is that right? Believe me, it is. All right, so back into your warrior one. We're going to come into a one-legged balancing pose. Another reason why you want your warrior one to be not so far forwards. You're going to bring your hands to your hips, spin off the back heel, gently lean into that front leg, pivot through your hips. And it's a lift of the back leg. It doesn't matter how high. Maybe you press away through the heel if you've got that capacity. Whoops. I did that and that made me wobble. And maybe, how about running arms here? Just have a go. Notice how much it makes you wobble and do different things in your body. It's tough. And then back heel to the floor. Yeah, you might need to carve leg, shake it. Let's do this on the other side. So you're finding your distance between your feet, yeah. It's one supporting leg, maybe hands onto hips. You're lifting the knee up and taking it out to the side, drawing it back in, and just tap the toe to the floor. 2 more. Inhale, exhale as you release the knee away. Inhale as it comes back, tapping it down. Yeah, hip flexor, everybody remember. It's using your buttock muscles, both of them, slightly differently as well. Now, don't release it this time. You're bending the knee even more, getting hold of the foot, bringing it into the inner thigh or somewhere between inner thigh and ankle. I don't mind. All right, hands at the heart here. Lifting a little bit. Think of that energetic lift centrally. And then let that foot slide down to outside the knee or just above the knee. And then you're sitting back. But like I say, this doesn't need to be deep. It could be a dip. Okay, slowly coming up, she says fast. And then release that foot behind you with the toes pointing out. So remember, this isn't a big distance, short, much easier. Hands onto hips. And when you're ready, think of this as just, there's a couple of ways you can think of this. It's just bending the front knee, but without moving the body. The body gets dragged, right? The other thing the other way you can look at this, because that, by the way, that is the problem with a lot of people. It's like, oh, I'm bending the front knee. I need to, yeah. And it changes your center of gravity. You want your center of gravity to be only off center, only just off center. The other thing you can think about is the sit bone here with that front leg dropping, but it doesn't drop too far. Yeah, so you've got options mentally how you go into this. So hands on the hips to begin with. Yeah, 50-50 weight. When you inhale, the arms come up. Breathe out whilst you're there. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, come back, straight legs, hands onto the hips, and lean into that front leg. So you're just inviting the back foot, leg to lift. But like I said, it doesn't matter how high it comes. It really, that's not the point here. Okay, and then running arms, if that's something you're interested in. That's tough. See how much you have to work through that supporting leg to support the movement of the arms. All right, and then back down and just shake that leg out, calf. Good stuff, everybody. We're going to come down onto the floor. Going to give you a really nice neck stretch here. So let's bring the arms up as we breathe in, as you exhale, folding down. Okay, getting those fingertips to the floor, hands flat. Then come to your knees. Okie dokie, and spin round. Don't mind how you sit because it's about being supported. Okay, so just from this sitting position, find nice tall spine. Then turn your head and spot your shoulder, both sides obviously. All right. Then you're going to turn, let's do the same direction. So turn your head to the left, chin to the left. See your shoulder, right? I want your right hand to come behind your head and hook into your ear if you want, or just at the side of your head, right? Hook into your, look at your shoulder, left shoulder. And with your right hand on the left side of your head, that's going to encourage your head to turn a bit more. So depending what's going on with your neck, you're most likely to feel this more on the right than you are on the left. That's not a given. It really depends. So look at that left shoulder. Watch that it doesn't spin behind you. It stays to the side of you as you delicately assist your head and neck through a little bit of adjustment with your right hand. Now, if you're liking that, for instance, on the right side of your neck, if that's feeling okay for you, you might like to drop your chin and look down towards the front left pocket. Now, try and breathe with this. There's like quite a bit going on. So every time you go a little bit further, if that's available to you, don't drop the breath off. We really want the breath there. Give your neck time. Give yourself a few breaths, because it's in the exhale where you're going to decide with your body if there's going to be any more movement or if you need to back off. There's that quiet conversation that goes on. One more breath. I really, really want to say, come back with delicacy. I really have to come back slowly. All right, we'll do the other side. So you're turning. See how you've got to give it time to release. You're turning your chin to your right shoulder. Watch that you haven't spun away. Yeah, it's to the side. You bring your left hand, and now that's on the right side of your head, and maybe you've got the ear as the gripping point. Yeah, skin on skin's good because it gives you traction. All right, so really be careful here. Settle in and really let the breath be your guide. You don't want to force this. And if your body says, okay, let's do it, let's go a little bit further, do that with breath. Probably on an exhale. So you might be feeling this more on the left side of your neck. I'm not, it's still on my right. But that's where I've got some tightness at the moment. So, but you might like to drop your chin and look into your top right pocket at the front. Don't lose the integrity of the pose. This will create a twisted stretch, twisted extension to be exact, on the left side of your neck. So what I mean by extension is, notice it's not contracting, it's not shrinking, it's getting longer, and there's a twist in there as well. So it's quite complicated. But our neck has so much movement in it, if we're lucky. And we can do so much with it to release tension. But it really has to be okay for your body. It sends you off into that fight flight side of your nervous system if not. So gently release the hand. Take a breath in and come back to center as you breathe out. Just give it a moment. Let everything settle. So before we go down into Shavasana, we are going to do imaginary alternate nostril breathing. You're not going to use your hand. You're just going to imagine it, because the imagination is actually very powerful, and you might still tap into the positive calming effects of that breathing practice, even if you can't use your hands. Because, you know, sometimes we need these things in actual life, not yoga mat life. Yeah, and it's just your imagination that is, you know, bringing that into existence, and it is possible. So settle yourself with that tall spine again, just like you did at the beginning of the practice. Notice your Breath coming in through both nostrils to begin with. If you want to stay with this, then you can. Or switch. Next inhale is coming in through the right nostril, out through the left, in through the left, out through the right. Repeat that, so it's in through the right, out on the left, in through the left nostril, up to that third eye point, more or less, out through the right. So just do a few more like this if you can. If you can't, the both nostrils is fine. Either will set you up well for your Shavasana. One more. In through the right, out, left, in left, out the right. Okay, slowly through both nostrils. And let that be released. Okay, now take your time to come down into your Shavasana using whatever props you wish. Probably includes blankets this time of year. Support your head and possibly something over the eyebrow line, an eye pillow or scarf, anything like that, just to close off some of the light into the backs of your eyes. Make all of those little adjustments, clothes, blankets, props. So for these last few moments, pay attention to your breathing. Don't change it. Just put your attention on your breath. If you feel like you want to change it, know that you are. I want you to experience the difference between breath awareness, that's you just being aware of how you're breathing, to how you want to change it, conscious breathing. There's a difference between these two and how that fits in your body, how that gets filtered through your body. The choice is yours. Breath awareness or conscious breathing. And then slowly make your way to one side and then up at your own pace to sitting. So when you do sit, sit right on your sit bones. Let the spine get a little bit springy. Oh, that's a word we'll hear in the future. Spring. Not currently. But yeah, get it springy so that it's light, buoyant, and long. And then we'll release the fingertips to the ground and then float them up with your breath. Palms can come together and bring the hands back into your heart space. Namaste. And thank you, sweet yogis. Looking forward to practicing with you again.